Aaron, what have been your early impressions from the first couple days of camp?
It's just been a lot of fun, highly competitive atmosphere. Guys are having a lot of fun. Just been high-level basketball.
Isaiah was talking yesterday about how competitive it is. There's a lot of smack talking going on. Is that kind of a product of just a lot of young, hungry guys out here?
I think so. Everybody's young, hungry, ready to learn, ready to get better, and that comes with high-level competitiveness. No one's going to get better if we're not being competitive out here. We're not going to win games in the regular season if we don't push ourselves in the gym now. So we're just working towards being the best team we can be, and it's been a lot of fun to talk smack and just fight every single day with these guys.
Going from a different franchise in Boston with different goals to this younger, newer team, what stands out as the biggest differences for you from one team to the next?
Just getting better every single day is a different mindset, more of a development mindset, which I love. And I just cherish an opportunity that I have here to get better every single day. So I've been very happy, and I'm just so excited to continue growing and getting better. And can't wait for the regular season to start.
What kind of things has Rick been working with you on these first 2 days?
Just being the best basketball player I could be on both sides of the ball. Being a knockdown shooter on the offensive end and being the best defender on the floor on the defensive end.
Aaron, do you look at what happened with Jalen late last year and into this year? Very different player from you, but the opportunity that he got kind of being in the back of a deeper rotation, do you view that as kind of a parallel of what you're hoping to happen here for you?
Yeah, I mean, we both came from pretty similar situations, just with a bunch of high-level guys in front of us. We didn't get a lot of opportunities, so, and you see he got that opportunity, he took the most of it, he did what he was supposed to do. So, yeah, absolutely.
Can you give me 3 good things about James Johnson?
James Johnson, yeah. So when I came over here, James was asking me to give him 3 good things. I would say his hair looks good today. He's a pretty good golfer, and he's a fantastic teammate. Yeah.
What's it having him been around as the oldest vet by a lot? Has he been helpful for this group?
He's been very helpful. He's been very influential on everybody. He's been a major voice in the gym. He's given his inside voice on just everything he's learned throughout his 14 years in the NBA and trying to put it on us.
Last year, Tyrese said it was helpful to have guys like Buddy and Tristan who were traded with him to here. Having Daniel around, how helpful is that for you to have a familiar face on this team?
It's always good to have a familiar face and know people. I didn't really know anybody coming into here, so it's always good to foster new relationships, though, so it hasn't been tough for me. I love meeting new people.
Defensively, there's been an emphasis on that so far in the first few days. What's the intensity been like on that end?
Just very competitive. We're valuing stops over offensive buckets right now, and so that's where the competitiveness is coming from, and that's where it needs to stay throughout the year.
Offensively, there's a lot of guards who like to push the tempo, get up and down. Is that something that excites you?
Oh, very much so. Get out, push the ball, get easy buckets, easy layups, easy corner threes. That's all we love to do.
Daniel, how was the Eurobasket experience?
It was good. It was success. A long summer after a long season, but it was definitely fun. And then winning bronze medal was obviously a good summer.
Going on now from a championship team now to a younger roster, what's it like kind of taking on that leadership role?
I'm just trying to help everybody to bring the right mentality. What I learned at Boston over the years about winning, take care of your body, every extra work I try to bring in here and teach those guys.
I know you're a little sick. How close to 100% were you at practice?
Almost, just a little cold from traveling, playing all summer. Just got me when I came back. So probably a couple more days, but then I'll be fine.
Playing with Houston last year, another younger team kind of growing. How much will that help you, that experience help you with a different younger team here in Indiana?
Houston was a different situation. They were even younger. There was almost nobody over 25, I would say. Here you have guys that have been in the league for a little while. So everybody, Myers, those guys been here for a long time. So I think, like I said, it's just about being on the same page, being locked in, and then go every practice important for us.
You've played with Aaron before this year. What can you tell me about him, and how do you feel like he'll fit into the system that the Pacers are trying to run this year?
Aaron plays always 150%. Whenever he's out there, he gives everything. He plays hard. He's athletic. He's a great shooter. So I think he can bring a lot to this group.
Your first impressions so far playing with Tyrese, known as a very good passing point guard. What's it just been like with him?
Like I say, he's a pass-first guard. He sees the court very, very well. I think that's important for younger team to have a point guard who knows what plays to call, when to play fast, when to slow down, see matchups. think he's very advanced in his position already in his age.
What have you seen from a couple of the younger bigs on this team, and Isaiah and Jalen?
They're young, they're talented. Isaiah is probably a high top 5 guys of athleticism in the league. I mean, I've seen Rob Williams before, but he's not far behind. Jalen is talented offensively, he can shoot. Defensively, everybody can move their feet, and I think that's a good strength of every big. If you can guard 1 to 5.
Daniel, you've played against teams coached by Rick Carlisle, a veteran coach. What makes him such a good coach in this league?
Experience. He got a lot of experience. He's been around a lot of teams, winning teams, and that's what a young team needs. Somebody who knows how to win, put the players in the right position. So I think that's what this is all about.
I don't know if you've spoken since being traded to here, but what were kind of your reactions when you were dealt from Boston to here?
Obviously, I wasn't expecting it, but I learned over the years it's part of the business. Obviously, there's no hard feelings, no Boston. I learned, like I said, it's a business, and at the end of the day, it's basketball. So wherever you as a player come, you want to just play, you want to compete.
All right, Tyrese, the vibe of this young group.
It's been a lot of fun. We spent the last 2 days learning a lot, working on some more basic concepts, but just things that I think are going to be really critical for us in our growth moving forward. So it's been a lot of fun so far.
You guys have spent a lot of time on defense. You guys appear to be a lot more athletic than you were last year. What does that mean defensively, and then having Miles behind you?
Yeah, I think that calls for more defensive versatility. Us being able to work different things. If we play 2 bigs, then our defensive coverages are different than when we play, maybe 4 guards, with just Miles, or if it's sticks, or if it's TT, or whatever it is. If we're switching everything, or if we're in drops from time to time, it's just defensive coverages change depending on our personnel. So I think it calls for a lot of versatility, but I think that's a lot of responsibility for guys, being able to take that on the right way to understand, time, score, personnel on the floor, it matters. So I think it's just a lot of learning right now.
Probably just the early stages, but offensively, are you putting in new and different things, or is it a lot of what you started last season when you joined the team?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of the same stuff. I think it's a little different now with Miles being, such a perimeter shooting threat at the 5, so being able to work some things in with him. But a lot of our focus the last 2 days has been defense. Offensively, even last year when we struggled, we scored. I don't really see that as a problem for us to score the ball. I think we got a lot of guys who can score in different ways, and that the pace we play, I'm not really worried about that. But in order to do what we want to do offensively, we have to get stopped. So it's been our main focus so far through training camp.
How would you evaluate some of the competitions, the 5-on-5s in practice?
I think it's been really good. The second team came and punched us in the mouth yesterday. We responded today, but I think it's just that those battles help. And I was getting on Rick earlier because I saw he had something to say about the second team dominating yesterday. Well, I want you guys to ask him what happened today.
Can we ask you what happened?
Well, we didn't lose, so I hope that answers it.
You got to ring the bell. How many knocked down over there?
I hit 21. I missed on 19 the first time, but I hit that 20.
Your shot form is obviously a little unorthodox. Where did that come from? Has it always looked like that?
Yeah. I think it was a problem of strength as a little kid and wanting to play on big hoops. So having to figure out how to get the ball there, and then kind of having to change my mechanics. Because sometimes I think I used to think I'm not strong enough to get it there and shoot like everybody else. Well, it's not that. It's just mechanically it doesn't feel right. So it changed from high school to where it is now. There's not as big of a dip as there was at one time, but it's running at a high clip for a while, so I don't have any concerns about it.
Did you ever have a coach try to change it or anything like that?
Yeah, probably at every level of my life at some point has tried, but I feel like it only takes 1 or 2 workouts for them to leave me alone.
How does this camp compare to maybe what you had going on in Sacramento?
I think it's a little different. We're not doing 2 days here in Sac we did, but instead of doing 2 days, I think we're doing more days straight and just kind of condensed things. But I think my 2 years in Sac, we were focused a lot on our offensive identity, trying to figure out the best way to implement, us having me, Fox, and other guards and things like that. I think here we kind of understand what we have offensively and understand who we are offensively, and that's not as much of a concern. Our concern right here, I think, is a more defensive focus than I've been in training camps.
I know you talked about this on Monday at Media Day, but now that you're here, you came right at the trade deadline. This is sort of your team and your group. What's that feel like for you?
It's exciting. It's exciting, but to whom much is given, much is required. So I think everything is somewhat. If you're called a leader, then I think everything that happens is a reflection of you and what you allow. And I think the front office would believe that about themselves. The staff would believe that about themselves. I believe that about myself. Right? Like what happens is a reflection of you. So what we allow to happen in practice, what we allow to happen in games, mistakes or getting down on things, like I feel like that's a reflection on me and how I lead. So just trying to learn the best I can, and every day is a different process, right? Like you lose one day, you get frustrated, but it's like it's the happy medium of, all right, we lost today, but I want to celebrate the guys who beat me, the guys who had a good day, but also be frustrated at myself, be frustrated at our group. Like we're better than that. So it's a happy medium and just trying to figure out the right way to approach it.
Just curious, how quick does it take for you to get tendencies on a guy when you're setting them up for passes? It takes a few practices, a few weeks.
I think time helps everything, right? So I think the more time you spend with somebody and the more time you invest in who they are as a player, the better you understand. So I said this is my rookie year, like it comes all the way down to like just little things, right? Like watching film, watching them work out, watching other things like playing 2K, like it is what it is. Like just trying to figure out where their best spots are and talk to people who have been around them, right? Talk to their former coaches, former teammates, like figure out where they think they're best, and you gotta learn everybody in separate ways.
Anybody standing out to you on this team through 2 days of practice?
I think a lot of guys have come out, brought great energy. I love what I'm seeing from the whole second group. Aaron Nesmith has been really good for us. TJ's TJ, you know what to expect from him. But I think I always appreciate who he is and what he brings to the table, energy-wise, because I feel like he understands, and we've talked about this before. He understands like who he is as a player, and he needs to bring that every day for him to be the best he can be. But that makes guys like me want to be better, because if I see a guy like that working hard, I want to do the same. So just I think everybody, but our second unit especially, has done and our third unit is doing a really good job of pushing each other. I don't think anybody's outright dominated, on a daily basis. I think it's been good competition.
What have you thought of Drew? You kind of teach him anything so far? He's been practicing with you guys for 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, I really like him. I said that in summer league. He looked really good in summer league. I'm pretty sure we're in the same class, so or maybe he's a year younger than me. I don't even know. But he's just got such a good feel for the game. Really knows what he's doing. I think us being in the same point guard room, being able to share responsibilities. I think that really helps. And I see a place where we're able to play together, where where he can pick up things from me and I can pick up things from him. And we're similar, right? We're both tall, long point guards who can make passes and limit our turnovers, limit our mistakes. So I think we can learn from each other for sure.
How much teaching, instruction type stuff goes on right now?
I think a ton. From everybody though. I think that's why we have guys like James here, have guys like Langston here, guys who've played in the league for a while, who not only teach but ask really good questions, for us to think about, because those are things that, if you're talking about one pick and roll read, well, it's like, okay, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? So, I think we do a really good job of asking a lot of questions and having a lot of vets who have understood, and a guy like Miles has played in so many different ball screen coverages with different coaches, where sometimes he's been down at the rim, sometimes he's up at the level. So it's different for him, and it's kind of just everybody figuring it out, so we're all on the same page come game day.
Tyrese said we're supposed to ask you what happened today between the first and second unit.
Yeah, the white team dominated today, so good to see. Blue was wiped everything out yesterday, and today white made it turn things around, so it was great.
I've heard a lot of guys talk about just how competitive it's been with guys going back and forth and some friendly smack talk. Is that kind of a product of having so many young guys who are hungry on this camp roster?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily in favor of it all being friendly. I think we got to have a nastier attitude about defense, especially. And we're showing some good signs in the first 2 days, but it's going to be all about sustaining it and continuing to get better. So Been physical. You know, the first couple days we've pushed these guys to play to exhaustion, and I feel like they have. But it's just the beginning.
Having that 2-to-1 ratio of defense to offense early in camp, is that your philosophy? Have you always done that, or is that more tailored to this specific group of guys?
Well, we're just making a real point this year to double up our time and attention to detail on defense, and you know, we're never going to be perfect, but it's just, you know, we're just really working to develop habits and a mindset and an attitude about it. And you know, I really believe that we have some real depth on this team, and I think we're going to have a lot of guys that can play minutes, and you know, I think it's going to be one of the strengths of the club.
You talked about these blue and white units these last 2 days. How fluid have lineups sort of been for you as you go into a new era, as you called it yesterday with this debut?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're going to look at a lot of different things. First couple of days, we've kept the lineups pretty consistent because I want to see some of these groups have time to play together. Like, we haven't seen Jalen Smith and Tyrese and Buddy even play with Miles until, you know, last week. And so, you know, they've got to develop a synergy, you know, really at both ends of the floor. And, you know, Jalen's gonna have some really good challenges, you know, playing the 4 spot with some of the playmaking, speed, quickness, and all those kinds of things at the 4 position. But he can do it. You know, he's really athletic. I like his feel for the game, and generally, length at the 4 position helps your defense. Just gives you another big body, helps with defensive rebounding, those kinds of things.
How much more teaching and instructions is going on than just an average year?
Well, I'd say with the youth of the team, there's been an emphasis on teaching the entire summer, and you know, young players need a lot of work on reads and reading situations. You know, a lot of guys just come in the gym and they want to work on their shooting or their ball handling or those kinds of things, but developing those skills without also working on the reads that happen during the course of competition isn't as effective. And so we've done a lot of work on reads. We do it every day. You know, young players like Ben and Nesmith, you know, need work on reading situations. A lot of these guys have come from college programs where things are very much geared around them. And the NBA is more of a flowing league, and a lot of your shots come in situations where you don't necessarily know when they're going to come. And so it's just a different way of playing, a different style of playing. But most young guys are going through this. So we're trying to help them along as best we can.
At what point do you include film in that? Or is that not till
We're watching film after practice every day. So when we get done.
Of practice or of previous games?
Of practice.
Okay.
So, and look, we're looking at film of not just scrimmage and live stuff. We're also looking at, you know, film of drills and situations where guys have to read what's happening. And is the right thing to step into a shot? Is it, you know, or is it to sidestep right or sidestep left? You know, or whatever the situation we're teaching. So, yeah, I mean, we're really making a lot of this about attention to detail. So we get done with practice, these guys get their shooting in, they get treatment, shower, and then, you know, at 1:30, we'll have 2 groups of film, and we'll study practice, and then come in here tomorrow and get ready to go again.
How much of an asset have guys like Langston, James Johnson, Daniel Tate for the first time been for this young group and just have the knowledge they do?
they're all great veteran guys. You know, they all have forged out real niches in the league. You know, and they're professionals. They know what this is all about. So, you know, we really wanted to have guys, have some veteran guys that can help set a tone, that can help teach young guys, that can set great examples without maybe doing a lot of talking about it. And you know, the night before camp, when I talked to the team, I mentioned, you know, Langston and James, and you know, Langston's been part of 3 or 4 of the USA windows and the groups that have accumulated. I think they're at 7 or 8 wins. They need 1 or 2 more to qualify for the Olympics. I mean, this is really important, you know, stuff that they're doing, and they're doing it with minor league players, you know, veteran NBA players that are you know, going, you know, to different teams each year. And so they've done a great job. Jim Boylan is actually the coach that's coached the majority of it. And, you know, not an easy task. I mean, you know, it looks like they changed the rules to make it more difficult for the United States to qualify, but, you know, our program has done a great job, and a lot of credit to Jim for the job he's done, and, you know, Langston's been a big part of it.
Any reason you guys opted to go with 18 guys in camp instead of 20 this year? Front office question.
No, it's, you know, we talked about it, you know, as a group, you know, front office and the coaching staff, and you know, just because you can have 20 doesn't mean you should. But we took a really close look at it. In many cases, you know, those last couple spots are favors or trying to help people out and stuff. But is it the right thing to develop this group? And so the decision was that, you know, we like the 18 guys, and that it also gave us some flexibility as we move through camp.